pain. Do you suffer from it? Don't worry, this is not a commercial for Relief Factor, Bengay, or any other relief medicine or ibuprofen or some sort of smelly ointment. No, my name is Jeff Doria. I'm one of the pastors here at St. John in Cypress, Texas, and I'm here to bring you another short devotion that is going to focus us on our upcoming worship service on March 22nd, Wednesday, where we're looking at the wounds of Christ. And this service and today's devotion is indeed about back pain, but not yours, but the back pain of Jesus. Now, most of you who are watching this video are already acquainted with the account of Jesus' passion and the torture that he went through on our behalf. And one aspect, one cruel, vital, horrendous aspect is the fact that he was flogged, whipped, and as a great hymn says, stricken, smitten, and afflicted, with strips of leather that snapped with a shriek as they struck the flesh on his back. And with his hands harnessed in such a way to keep him from moving around, the Roman soldiers not only cracked their whips of leather upon him, but those strips of leather had little pieces of bone often connected to them, sometimes little pieces of metal. And when they hit the flesh of the criminal, they not only would dig in past the surface, but they would also rip out small chunks of the flesh as they exited the body. Can you imagine the lines across his back? Dug into the flesh of his back is an incredible roadmap of torture, a roadmap of sin. Yes, Jesus was struck not only with bone and leather whips, but even worse, with the sin of the world. Yours, mine, all people, of all ages, all ethnic diversities, whether they believe in Jesus as a Son of God or not, Jesus took upon himself the sin of the entire world. In our upcoming worship service on March 22nd, that Wednesday, I'll read another portion of Matthew's Gospel that speaks to his suffering. But in this video, I wanted to spotlight a text from St. Peter. It's in his first letter, chapter 2, verse 24, where it says, "He himself bore our sins in his body on the cross, so that we might die to sins and live for righteousness. By his wounds you have been healed." You know, that's a powerful text. Just one verse that I read to you, but if you have time, look at the whole context there in 1 Peter chapter 2, and you'll see an incredible account where Peter, he being an eyewitness, saw from afar the torture that Jesus underwent. And yet, the amazing love of God is the fact that, well, as Peter and even Isaiah states, that we are healed through his wounds. We are healed through the wounds of Christ. Through his suffering, our sins are forgiven. The punishment that was upon him brings us peace. It's Isaiah 53, if you want to take a glance at that. Isaiah 53, verse 5, where it says, "He was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities, and the punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed." You know, there is no peace, no true lasting peace, apart from Jesus Christ. Oh, we may suffer with back pain here and there, or perhaps quite often in our lives. It may be a herniated disc, or it may be back pain when you gave birth to your children. It may be from a fall from a ladder, or when you served in our military. However we experience pain in our bodies, I pray that we are reminded of Christ and his suffering, who experienced far greater pain than we could ever imagine. Now, don't take me wrong. I do not seek to make light of the pain that we go through. Some of you listening to this, I know you are going through tremendous amounts of pain. From cancer and other illnesses that plague you that there is no remedy. And I pray for God's strength for you. But no, I don't seek to make light of the pain and the struggles we go through. What I do seek to do is to raise our appreciation for the fact that, what Christ went through, and the fact that his pain brings us the greatest relief ever. It's life everlasting and a perfected, glorified body. One that I really can't really fathom. It's hard to imagine. Yet I know it's true because it's God's promise. And I know some of you are oh so ready for that to happen. So rejoice in what Jesus has done for you, my friends. Rejoice in the cross, just as that great hymn states, "In the cross of Christ I glory, towering over the wrecks of time." Well, I hope to see you during the worship service on Wednesday, March 22nd, either at 11 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. If you can't be here in person, feel free to join us and worship the Lord online with us through our live stream that begins at 7. Until then, may God keep you strong in this season of Lent as we focus on the wounds of Christ.